Firing position. Original entrance. There was also attachment for the beds, so they would sleep here, they would fight here. All the German bunkers constructed for the West Wall before World War II here around Besseringen in Germany. They're all part of the Siegfried Line. They were a huge defensive fortification system that was built along Germany's western border, as you know, between 1936 and 1940. And you have visited with me the most notable bunker in this area, the Besseringen B-werk. And we went through it a few months ago with the head of the association. Since he grew up here, and he knew and knows of a lot of the other bunkers hiding in this area, I hijacked him, and we went for a number of walks in a number of woods around the area here, just to see what the defensive lines looked like inside the cities and outside, and also how these bunkers were different from the later Regelbauten. So basically, let's just go for a walk in the woods, starting with an awesome steel dome here. You actually have a steel dome that hasn't been destroyed. It must be good with the time I spent in Poland. I'm so used to never seeing these in one piece.
It's normal here.
That's a Panzerturm.
Yes, Panzerturm. One off, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the town of Besseringen. B123, B123. We're in the first defensive line now. The river's over there, and the task of this bunker was to defend the whole area before in front of it. This has a nice patina with all those.
It does. Moss is good camouflage.
Yes.
So is that the type of thing you'd see from a first line fortification? You had steel domes and
you have Dreischartenturm. This is the only 12 centimeters. This is B1, so it's not as thick as the ones on the B-werk. So these are typical fortifications in the first line here in this region, and they are mixed up with normal MG steel plate bunkers, and yeah, you have those two types.
So what is this? There's a little bunker underneath here, that's it?
Yes, the entrance was there, over there. Escape hatch must be on this side, and it's not under the street. It ends somewhere. Somewhere there. And to see how much material it lost throughout the years.
Just from rust and erosion.
Yes.
So they're literally peeling.
Yes.
Did they have waterproofing on them when they were put up, or were they just painted?
They were just painted. This bunker is I never was inside because it's buried, but it's full of water.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the river right here,
yes,
you almost have just a little water already right here about it. Yeah.
You see, there is a concrete dome in front.
Yes, there is.
It's to prevent the. It's 1 meter of concrete dome. Never saw it like this. Maybe it was flooded. Maybe you can film inside.
I see something in there.
Someone did try to get in.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you can't keep out teenagers all forever.
No, these are not teenagers. These are equipment hunters.
Oh.
For sure.
You still have people Looking for artifacts, or?
Yes. So
that's France over there.
no.
For far further.
This is the Saar River, and it's around 7 kilometers to the French border.
But this is the access route that the French would have taken.
They thought that it was easier for them to make the Saar River the main anti-tank obstacle instead of building anti-tank obstacles at the border of Germany. It was cheaper for them, but it meant that the other part of the part of Germany on the other side of the river was not meant to be defended.
So the cement is in and the rebar is in behind the stone wall.
Yes.
So how many rooms? Any towers here, or just the firing position from?
Only the firing position, one room and gas log.
Okay, no observation or anything.
No.
Oh, there's a hell of a view. You got to give it to them. So the other one is over there.
Yeah. And there's one. There are two between them.
Wow.
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
So these are small, fairly simple bunkers to construct.
Yes. But in the first line here, this is a very old line. They started to build them in 1937, which was in the second year when after the starting of the construction of the West Wall. The first bunkers were built in 1936, after the Saarland region elected the first time for Germany. And the interesting thing is that this was a real democratic election. The Swedes were maintaining that everything was democratic. And the Saarland people were the only one that democratically voted for Hitler.
Oh, okay.
So,
I mean,
and this was a mistake because there was war, and 10 years later, after the war, they elected again and again for Germany. Oh. Because we do not want to be French.
Wow. What is this? Close defensive?
Yes. With the very old steel plate fitted 40329 for MG08. With the quadratic opening.
Yeah.
Instead of a rectangle.
And then there used to be a door.
Yes. It's painted brown because it's in the ground. It's painted brown also inside. There you have air intake.
So it would blend with the rockets in.
Yes. Then you have this camouflage, this nice little camouflage. It's very common here. With this sandstone.
Yeah.
And if you film inside, up there.
Oh, yeah. Close defensive position there.
Yes. And up there is the number. But I don't think you can see it. No. So it has one machine gun room with steel plate on the other side.
And this was again a first line bunker.
Yes.
And the direction of fire or battle is in front of the plate here.
Yes.
Right. Why am I walking on barbed wire? I shouldn't do that. Oh yeah. Wow. I mean, I guess we can't turn them all into museums.
Some people would repaint it and clean it, and I think it's good as it is. With this nice little plants hanging from the roof.
True. Well, I was thinking about having you take care of it.
Oh, I have enough to do with the B-werk.
Well, it's not that you can't see anything out here.
Yeah, but you these trees are
Yeah.
post-war.
No, I was being sarcastic because this is a beautiful view, with or without trees. So the expectation was that the French was going to come up this river.
Yes.
Huh.
These are all very early constructions, similar to those in the Pommernstellung.
Yes.
Also similar to those in the Neckar-Enz-Stellung and Wetter-Auma-Tauber-Stellung in the central of Germany. And the next one we'll have a look at is the so-called Limes program construction site. It was the first construction program after Hitler
Yes.
Hitler made his decision to make another concept here, and he ordered in May 1938 he ordered 10,000 bunkers until October 1938 because his decision was to take the Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia. And so he wanted to have the Western fortifications as...
Yeah, his biggest fear was that the French was going to attack.
Yes, and he wanted to raise the price for an attack and to make it
Too costly to try.
After May 1938, propaganda started heavily to the outside. So there were foreign journalists invited to have a look to the Westwall, and they showed them, mainly Hillersleben and some other fortifications, or Ostwall, and they did they did blankets above some weapons and said, this is our very top secret anti-tank gun, we can show you, we can't show this to you. And they didn't have them. So yes, they faked that this Westwall fortification was as heavy as the Ostwall fortification, because even if Hitler did not like the Ostwall fortifications, it was very good to show to the foreign journalists because it was big and it had tunnels.
Yeah, it's modern.
So, and then there was the propaganda to the inside of Germany, and the task was to make clear that someone who will build fortifications will not attack.
Yeah.
So that was
Right.
the second purpose. And he always said, we will build the security of the Reich.
Yeah.
Yes. And yes, this worked, and this worked. This even worked in 1944 and 1945 when the Americans first saw the first Westwall bunkers. They had respect from yes, a little bit of fear because years before Hitler said these fortifications are unbeatable, and so they did stop and regroup before they were attacking the Westwall.
Yeah.
And this gave the Germans time to recollect troops, and which led to the Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he held for a lot longer than the Americans had bargained for.
Interesting story is that Model was his 72th Infantry Division was here in this region, and also Rundstedt and Mahnstein were here. And sometime they studied the maps and they noticed that the Westwall is along the Saar River, but there is a triangle between the Mosel River and the Saar River, and this triangle had no fortifications, and they feared that when they're going to attack through Belgium, through the Ardennes, the French would use this triangle to for counterattack, and there would be no fortifications before Konz. So they would be able to
Go around.
around 20 kilometers of Westwall fortifications, and could disturb the main railway lines in Konz and Trier, which went straight to the Rhine River and which were very important. So Austrian fortress engineer, which was now in the German army, had the plan to build bunkers between the Saar and the Mosel River, which was called the Oschertsriegel, and which they built after the war began, when everyone was evacuated, and the French did not have a good view on this. So when the Americans came here in 1944, they did not know that there was a 17-kilometer long bunker line built after the war began, and the French had no clue that this existed. So it was a kind of surprise for them.
17 kilometers. Wow. So you have a steel plate in there?
No, it's an open hatch.
There's
for 3.7 centimeter anti-tank gun.
Okay. And this is literally built into the wall of the.
Yes. It's consisting of two bunkers. One Regelbau B11, Regelbau B117, and they connected them with a tunnel which goes in this direction, and behind the house you can go inside. But I was never inside.
Because they won't let anybody go inside.
Yes.
So that actually, the access is actually through the house.
Yes. There you see the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And then you go inside.
But this was destroyed during World War II, wasn't it?
Yes, and this is the one they built after the war.
That's what I thought.
At the same place.
So this is the river crossing.
Yes.
And here's the bridge defense.
Yes.
And right next to the river here, one of the better hidden little steel domes I've ever seen.
Yes, Reichsartenturm, 61 P8, 12 centimeters of chromolybdenium steel. 3 loopholes, but you only can see one today. The entrance of the bunker was under the street, up there. Now it's buried, but that's okay, because everything is still inside.
This is an amazing place for it. I mean, it's a perfect place for it. I didn't know they used that much nature to shield these locations. And I mean, you see them up here in the walls, in the hillsides, hidden. Oh wow! Everything is still inside.
You have to look down.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Everything is still inside.
That's something else. That's the new bridge.
The new, but the old one was on the same place.
And this hillside is full of bunkers as well, observation and fighting as well, or?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
This is the first line, steep in the hill. There is the second line.
So this is a first line bunker?
Yes.
Okay. And the second line up on the ridge already? Or?
Yes.
Wow.
They have to go up around 100 meters. Or 50 meters.
And then all of a sudden there's a hole in the wall. I like holes in the walls. Now I can see already from here, this is a pretty thin back wall.
This is not the original wall. This is a special entrance, and if you look on the right, then you will see the right entrance for the bunker. This is post-war.
But the wall is still not very thick.
1 meter.
Really doesn't look that thick. Do I bend that way, I ask myself? Yes, apparently I do. Ow! Oh, there it is. Huh, that was oh, that's what they did. Alright, I see what he's saying. They put it up there. Firing position. Original entrance. So this wall they just bricked up to keep people like, you know,
Yes.
me out. Okay. Well, that's normal. And that is literally it. So was there a Panzerplatte here?
The Panzerplatte is gone.
Yeah.
And they replaced it with this tunnel for animals.
Okay. So I'm standing inside a reptile preserve, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Lots of graffiti, lots of writing on the walls.
Typical for this region.
Yeah.
But only in the up until May 1938, then they started to speed up, and there was no time for old poets on the wall.
So was this was it?
Yes.
There was also attachment for the beds, so they would sleep here, they would fight here, and
Yes, five soldiers were inside.
I can't believe that no graffiti guys destroyed this. That is awesome.
They don't find this.
Well, I'm not going to tell them where it is, that's for sure.
They have the original bunker number 56 written on the wall, like it was yesterday.
Is that the original number?
No, we have two numbers. The one is there's 1938, and below that there is a number beginning with an N. N383039.
39.
Okay. This is the first and the old number, and the second number is outside of the bunker, above the entrance defense. It's 56.
Wow, that's very neat. And a very covered entrance too.
Yes. This is the 56. It's the original.
Not much of a ditch, really.
This is.
And this is the original black color, or?
Yes, with the original number.
With the original number.
And this is a special construction only here in this region. Normally you don't have this covered entrance, and this is a speciality.
Yeah.
Every Regelbau B11 is built in this type of construction. I think they altered this because most of this Regelbau B11 are standing in steep hills. So it was easier to hide them in the hills when they have a covered entrance. And this one is not in the hills, but they use the same layout.
Yeah. I mean, that makes perfect sense. Right.
In this region, there are lots of hidden tunnels for which they built during the wartime, and this is one of it. It's the first time I see it, but there are lots of tunnels around here, mostly in the back of the hills, for storage and personal.
But this is the front of the hill. Or is this
the front of? No.
This is back of the hill.
This is the side of the hill.
The side of the hill.
And there are tunnels there, and on the other side of the hills there are also tunnels.
Okay, which side are we looking at enemy to our right?
Enemy is there.
Over there, where the other two lines are.
Yes.
Right. So that's where we have trenches, and here you see the trenches, possible the artillery positions up here on the wall. Now that I have a minute. Facing the enemy there. Wow, these are well hidden. There's a lot of them. Ah, what a cute little puppy.
This is the most common type of bunkers. It's called Regelbau 10. Standard type 10 in English. And there are over 3,400 of this standard type bunkers built. They started building it in June 1938 in the Limes program, and This is a really early example of this standard type because they use a lots of parts they had from the programs before, and you will see it when you're in the front that they are not fitting right to this design.
Right. Is this the one where the crew had to leave?
Yes.
Oh, I'm dying to see this.
We have to go on the other side.
I mean, even the Panzerplatte is not really buried into it.
This is no Panzerplatte.
It's not?
Just the flesh.
Oh, this is just a flash. Okay, so there's an armored...
It has a centimeter, not more. And it's just open. No protection for the crew.
Yeah, it's a little open there. All right.
Here you see the trenches.
Oh, wow, yes.
Very well preserved. It's rare to see them that deep.
And of course the trenches run straight to the troop shelters.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's a tree laying in the trench.
Yes.
And this is the trench, there's another tree laying in the trench leading to it. Okay. I mean, it's still well camouflaged.
10 years ago it was heavy for me, and there was no tree, no leaves at all. It's a little bit unfortunate that we can't see the whole thing from here.
I mean, I guess we could take a weekend and clean it up. I think we should ask for volunteers. You're a teacher, bring your kids out for a weekend outing.
Oh. You see, this is the main part where the beds were for 12 people.
Mm-hmm.
And also the entrance defense, which is closed with concrete now.
Yeah.
And to fight, you have to go inside this room, and you have to leave the bunker, go around, and then go to this room.
So you left your bedroom to get into the fighting position.
Yes.
Okay.
The only connection between them was a speaking tube. Not even some kind of tunnel to bring the ammunition, because this part was gas proof and this was not.
And they kept the ammunition in the crew.
Yes.
So the crew department had the ammunition, and all the crew that would have to then run in and out. That's always fun to do during bombardment. That works well.
It's a little bit water inside. I don't think it's worth going in. And it's if you like mosquitoes, then it's water.
Well, you're right about the water. Even the ceiling is wet. All right. So, there's a tire, so you know it has something to do with World War II. Oh, this is actually fairly decent sized. Right. Well, all the hooks in the ceiling are still here. Did they have hammocks?
No. In the beginning, like the very small bunkers, they had one, but these hooks are for the chains from the beds.
That's what they were, of course. And that's why I see the armored plate. Okay. And then they would.
Armored plates are missing, especially the small ones.
Yeah. How many people will sleep in here? 12. Yeah, that's about right. Actually wouldn't argue that. A staircase up to the original entrance. That has been bricked up. Speaking tube. So do you ever check if the tires you find in bunkers are original to World War II?
Never.
Never? I find some pretty damn small tires sometimes. Oh, what a beautiful place.
I did not have any experience with this new type of Liebesregelbau.
Oh, wow.
And they did use this old, this is to prevent little animals to go inside the ventilation system.
And it's completely crooked.
Yes, but it was never designed to be used on this bunker. They had designed new ones, but maybe they hadn't any of these because they were not. They could not deliver them. But they had to start because Hitler wanted 10,000 bunkers in a few months, and
well, what are you going to do? The boss says so. Yeah. Yeah. So there was a little opening, and there was a steel door there.
no, there was
Not even a door.
wooden door.
Oh, a wooden door. Okay.
Yes, because it was not gas-proof, they did not need a steel door.
Ah, true. And it was literally just this little thing
Yes.
they built onto.
Also, roof and walls here are 1.5 meters. For the fighting room, it's only 1 meter.
Well, you have a wooden door, so you have a wooden door and no embrasure, so you're kind of screwed either way. There's another one. Now, it was a bit of a bad idea with the 10 because of the way that was designed. So of course they built the number 11, which is a bigger version of a generally not very good idea. And here it is. Well, I see hooks for the camouflage netting on top.
So, same idea.
Oh yes.
Combat room, personal shelter, but now 2 entrances. There's a rule. Every bunker above 12 soldiers had to have 2 entrances to leave and enter the bunker in a specific time. Which is a bit odd that the B-werk with 90 soldiers only have 2 entrances as well.
Well, I guess otherwise you would have to have 10 of them.
Yes.
So, alright, this is bigger. Oh, it has the right grates though.
Yes.
Has the right ventilation grates.
Are the right ones.
Oh, there's that. And is this a plate?
No, it's concrete.
This is part of it.
No, there was a door.
There was a door, so they put over. That's what I mean. They put a plate on there.
No, just concrete. It's one of the driest bunkers inside. It's very, very preserved. It's one of my favorite bunkers.
Well, you grew up here playing as a kid, you said.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I can't. What kind of guest would I be if I didn't see your childhood playground? There's the ground. Oh. Outstanding. Car keys intact. Right. So, well, I see the plates missing. Expecting that. And you're right, it is very dry. Emergency exit.
Yes.
Still full of sand. And the grooves for the steel plates. Close defensive position. Oh, this is gorgeous. The bedposts are still here. Were the communication connected to these?
Yes.
Is that the tubes and the pipe and the wall and the ground here?
Yes. And there are some walls in the wall or...
Yep. This is super clean. He's right, this is dry. It's clean, it's nice. This is the other entrance. It's been bricked up. Yep. I just stuck some wood in there and put a little cement on the outside. Useless, really. Firing position. Something was hanging there. And it looks like this wall had some damage done to it. I don't know.
This is the reality of the concept of the Westwall. It was not what they were planning when they started to plan in 1935-36. And in the first 2 years they built fortifications with steel plates, with turrets. But after May 1938, after Hitler himself scrapped the concept before, they built plain bunkers consisting of empty shelters with beds for personnel and external combat rooms where you had to leave the bunker to go to the fighting position. You had no steel plates, no armor. You could use sandbags if you want to protect yourself, but the openings are very big, and yeah, that's the reality. And most of the bunkers, around 8,000, are of this type, of this area, called the Limes program. And in January 1939, after the successful regaining of the Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia, they switched the concept again, and after the big companies were able to deliver lots of armored turrets and lots of steel plates as they were ordered years before, after the concept switch they started to build more quality than quantity, and those are the bunkers with A force, so 3.5 meters wall and roof, and there are 4,000 of the later bunkers called Aachen-Saar-Programm or Neubau-Programm. So if you visit the Westwall, you will see a lot of the first bunkers, because they were very small, they had good camouflage, and a lot of them are still there. These bunkers from the second program, they were mostly built in the forests, and most of them are blown up. And from the third program, you will see most of the bunkers, because they were built in the Saar region, in the village, in the garden of the people which were evacuated at this time. So there's the biggest chance to see them.
And then the trenches lead just away, crisscrossing behind here, connecting.
The next bunker is 200 meters from here.
Is it just the same?
Yes, but blown. And the next one is also another 200 meters. It's okay, but it is damaged. Yeah, because some years ago someone said children did their arms through the holes and get stuck, and now they are closed. So yeah, it's safe.
I mean, what is wrong with kids? You can't stick your arm in and out of that? That is so much. Well, why would that? How do you get hurt as a kid with that? Oh damn. Oh, that's fun. Well, these here, so who else? 08?
Just a number. I think the manufacturer is inside. Must be, I think EVG. Nice little details.
Still there?
Yeah.
I wonder if any of the kids have any idea what they're playing in. And for the periscope. Well, if you ever need one, I guess you know where it is. So they destroyed the bunker, and
Yes.
they didn't scrap this.
Yes.
Oh, there's some Dutch people crying over that.
Awesome.
Three holes.
I love this.
I know. Where I grew up was an old playground where they put an F-4 starfighter, an old tank, an old train, a couple of old cars, and that's what we played on as a kid.
So cool.
Good for them. Well, Lost Battlefields exists just for this very reason, to visit lost battlefields. I just never thought it would have me end one episode on a playground. Yet here we are. See you next time. My name is Tino Struckmann. I run Lost Battlefields. Every year, I travel around the world to try to bring you to all the most interesting historical military locations from modern wars and the World War II special projects, battlefields, forts, fortresses, and tunnels, everything else. Things you may not be able to see or go to yourselves. Please join me on Patreon or join Lost Battlefields through the website so you get access to all my files and my notes. It really does help, and like, follow, share here on the channel if you can. That helps too.